When the last light fades on Stonebarrow Hill, and the crowds have left the shore, when the tide slides out through the Dorset dark, a quiet line of lanterns moves along the shale below, where only those who know the cliffs know where the fossils grow. Under the moonlight, silver pale, the head torches start to glow, tracing lines through fallen beds where the ancient currents flow. Flatstones scattered by winter storms lie silent where they fell, each one hiding a coiled surprise locked in a stony shell. The night hunters of Stonebarrow walk where the moontides gleam, searching the shale for spirals bright, where the ancient oceans dream. Golden pyrite flashing back in the sweep of a wandering light, treasure from the Jurassic deep, revealed in the quiet night.
UK Fossils follows all laws and regulations regarding fossil hunting. In some of our videos we use hammers to extract fossils from rocks. These rocks are not part of the bedrock. They are ex situ rocks that have naturally broken away from the bedrock and are legal to collect under SSSI regulations.
The Jurassic black then marl member makes up the majority of the cliff section along the first part of Stonebarrow Cliff. This member yields the Pyrite Ammonites everyone loves to find, and flatstone nodules that contain the world-famous well-preserved calcite Ammonites. A little further, and a belemnite marl member forms at the top. Approximately 1 kilometre from the River Char, the green Ammonite member is exposed above this. These beds contain the prized green Ammonite nodules. The Ammonites within them need to be specially prepped, as attempting to split with a hammer will destroy the specimens. All these members belong to the Charmouth mudstone formation. At the top of Stonebarrow, the Cretaceous age upper greensand and gulp formation outcrops.
It's worth remembering that this coastline is a site of special scientific interest. Fossil collecting is allowed, but it should be done responsibly. Take loose material from the beach and not from the cliffs, and help preserve the site for others.
Just seen here some scraps of flatstones. So this has been previously broken by somebody and the scraps have just been left in this pile here. But there is actually a partial ammonite just in there. So I'm going to just look through some of these and then re-split them down, because sometimes if you re-split them you can find more ammonites inside. Oh, there's one there. There's a prom just in there. Just split off. Got another one in there. So actually what you want to do is, this is a good example, is if you see these flat stones, you want to hit them across this way. You can see the layers. These are the layers in the rock, and you want to split it that way, not that way. So follow the layers like this. I'm going to switch to a smaller hammer now. So I've now split these down quite finely, and there's quite a few in here actually. Got quite a few proms, there's a ziff, and this one here is actually a tiny asti. Now this is fantastic. If you can see this, it may be small but it's still beautiful. Promicroceras are the most common ammonites found in Flatstones and are a classic find from Charmouth. They can also be found as pyrite specimens from the pyrite beds. Xiphooscerous ammonites are very similar to the more common Promicroceras ammonites. They're both calcite and they're both found in Flatstones. The difference is that these have spines on the ammonite. Sometimes these spines can be worn, but you can just about see where they would have been. On the keel edge, you can see these protruding out. The third classic ammonite is Asterosterus, and this is less common but highly sought after. It is beautiful and is recognised by its ridge on its keel. They can get incredibly large.
Make sure to look amongst all the pebbles in the foreshore and within the clay, because you can find fossils like this. And this is a nice crinoid slab. It's quite hard to see, so I might just give it a little wash in the sea. That's better. We can see all the nice little detail on there now. There's a bit of the crinoid stem there. So this is currently where we're at, 2 hours now after high tide. They are neap tides this week, which means they don't go right back and they don't come right up either. But I just want to get round that corner there. But it's a little bit unsafe for me, so I'm happy to wait. After 2 weeks of not being out, come down Charmouth with issues with our van and being in Yorkshire doing some videos. A lot has changed on this beach in Charmouth. A lot. Hopefully we can find some good stuff. You'll find a lot of these on the beach, these Ammonite segments. Quite a lot of them are actually on androgs. This one's quite worn by the sea.
So this landslide here, this is the big one in February 2026 that happened about just over a week ago now. It is actually going back, it's receding quite a bit, despite the fact that it went out straight to sea. A lot has already been washed away, but it was definitely a big fall, as you can see, one of the biggest here for a long time, and it also goes this side as well. since we've been in Yorkshire for a week, we missed out on this, so we're just going to have a look round. The tides aren't particularly great at the moment, they're neap, so they're not really coming up as high as what they would have been last week, but nevertheless we're still going to just have a pot around.
One thing to be aware of when you're walking through this clay is there are a lot of parts that are misleading and very sinky, and a lot of people have actually got stuck down here to the point they've had to call the lifeguard to get them out. So be aware of where you are placing your feet, but also you'll want sensible footwear. So flip-flops I wouldn't recommend. So just sensible shoes, wellies, anything like that really. And it is very, very slippery at times as well, so just be careful on your feet. You can find a lot of loose material on the shingle down in the foreshore, but you can also find a lot of fossils within the clay. So look on the foreshore as well as the clay, but also, most importantly, is to look around the boulders on the foreshore, because sometimes the fossils can get stuck around them with the tide. So it's always good to check in and around them. You can find various fossils here. The most common obviously are Ammonites, lots of different species. You have Astes, you have Etes, you have Troms, calcite ones. You can also find other fossils such as crinoids, bits of belemnites. You can find squid, parts of ichthyosaur bones, vertebrates, partial pieces of jaw, whole jaws with teeth. Lots and lots of fossils at Charmouth. It's just knowing where to look, to be honest. I don't know if you can see this, but I've just noticed this lump of rock with a keel of an Ammonite showing. I'm going to call my husband Alistair over, as it looks like the rare spiny Ammonite, the Podorosaurus. So now that we've got that, we're just having a quick scout around, see what else is laying around. I look forward to prepping that. It's not going to be an easy job, I must admit. I think it'll be well worth it though. Definitely a lot of pyrite around still. A few weeks back when we had that other fall, the one sort of just in the further distance over there, it brought out a lot of new pyrite, and there was literally pyrite ammonites everywhere, especially more so down on the foreshore there, where you can see roughly where Alistair is, a bit further yonder, and some really nice ones that were coming out, and the beach was packed of people. A bit of a partial pyrite ammonite there. Leave that for someone else. If you do happen to see something in the clay and you think, oh, that looks like a fossil, don't be afraid to grab it and pull it out, because you never know, sometimes it can be. Some are misleading and it's not a fossil, but at least you've made the effort to pull it out, look at it, and then you know that it's not a fossil, and then you won't be forever wondering when you get home, was that a fossil I saw in the clay or not? Obviously you will get quite muddy down here. I mean, that's avoidable, to be honest. It is a very, very muddy place, but there's nothing wrong with getting your hands dirty, finding some nice fossils. Just always be wary of the cliffs here though, as they are, as you can see, always falling with landslides, and so never walk under it. Also, some of the ammonites here, the pyrite ones, do get over pyritized, but sometimes I've found that if you find one that is quite pyritized, pick it up and turn it over, because sometimes the other side is actually okay. So it's always worth checking these things. Absolutely beautiful day at Charmouth. We're not even into March yet. Well, not far from it. I think spring is on its way now. One place you want to look is in this very fine shingle, where you can find lots of loose pyrite ammonites. You can find partial bits of belemnites. There's one piece there, and even a more tinier one there. There's a nice little crinoid down there. Get it? Whoop. Just made it. Nice little crinoid stem. We moved here actually nearly 3 years ago from Suffolk, and within that time of coming down to Charmouth, I'd never seen so much pyrite this far up the beach before at Stonebarrow. It's quite extraordinary. We're still searching the pyrite. I'm hoping to find an ammonite actually. I love those little pyrite ammonites. Talk of the devil. There's one down there. It's quite a nice size one. Just give it a wash in the sea. Partial ammonite there. Ah. One right in front of me. Oh, there's two. Oh wow. Okay. It's a nice surprise. So these are called proms. That one's obviously not got the full part of its chambers there. But that one's complete. And the full name for these, they call them proms for short, but the full name pronounced is Promicroosseous. Pyrite ammonites are the most common find that non-locals who come to Charmouth will make. Promicroosseous is the more common. Echiosseous can get big and have a line running down the middle of the keel. Oxynotoceros are like discs with sharp edges, often worn and virtually no ribs showing. Glivioceros are similar but have prominent ribs and show more of the inner whorls. Etiodoosseros are the biggest. They are chunky and have spikes, or where spikes would have been. Tropidoosseros have a narrow back with a sharp keel. Crucilobiosseros can also get large, are thinner with small tubercles showing. Tragophilosseros are flat with no ribs. Polymorphites have chevrons along the edge, crossing the line running down the keel. There's another one. Tiny one. Not so great. If you find any pyrite ammonites down here and you want to know the best way to clean them, we did actually do a video on that, so it might be worth visiting our page if you haven't already done so, and then you can see the best way to clean up the pyrite ammonites. Some quite useful tips on there. And then around the pyrite again, I've seen a very tiny little one just sitting in there. I don't think that's going to focus on the camera. Big lumps of pyrite down in here. It's always worth just moving bits around. That would have been one. Bone. I want to find some bone. It's more interesting. Something in the clay here that looks very similar to an ammonite keel. I don't have my spade with me. If I go back and get it, I'm worried I'll lose where this is. Worth checking. And hopefully, if we pull it out, it should be complete with a bit of luck. Cool. Ah! It's a nice crucie. So we've got some more segments down here. One there and one there. Right next to each other. Someone lose their soul. Oh, nice. Poppy mud. Another little one down there.
So down here, as you can see, there's loads of pyrite exposed. This is a good area to search. In here you're going to get a lot of pyritic fossils, particularly pyrite ammonites. As the sea's going out, it's constantly churning the beach up. There's always fresh material to look through. Some of these can be quite small, so you do need to get down quite low. We're just going to spend a little while here searching through the shingle. Another little tip here is to turn the bulbs over, because a lot of the time people wouldn't look underneath them. Sometimes you can find ammonites just underneath. Or just move the top layer of rocks like this. You'd be surprised just how much you can find. It's been 3 years since UK Fossils moved from Suffolk and Stonebarrow became our main local collecting ground. Let's rewind and take a look back at the highlights from those 3 years.
When the last light fades on Stonebarrow Hill and the crowds have left the shore, when the tide slides out through the doors at dark, the gulls cry out no more. A quiet line of lanterns moves along the shale below, where only those who know the cliffs know where the fossils grow. Under the moonlight silver pale, the head torches start to glow, tracing lines through fallen beds where the ancient currents flow. Flatstones scattered by winter storms lie silent where they fell, each one hiding a coiled surprise locked in a stony shell. The night hunters of Stonebarrow walk where the moon tides gleam, searching the shale for spirals bright where the ancient oceans stream. Golden pyrite flashing back in the sweep of a wandering light, treasure from the Jurassic deep, revealed in the quiet night. Some stones split with a ringing tap, others stay closing still, but every now and then a flash makes every lantern thrill. A spiral shines like buried gold where the iron layers lay, pyrite fire in Ammonite coils bright as the break of day. The fallen greens along the shore hold secrets in their seam, grey outside but worlds within from an older ocean dream. And those who know the weight and feel of nodules in their hand can read the clues of hidden life across the shale and sin. The night hunters of Stonebarrow move with the turning tide, where storms have split the cliffs apart and laid the fossils wide. Golden coils and pyrite flame catch every searching light, a million years beneath their feet, alive again far and near. From distant lands they come to walk where ancient seas appear. Hundreds roam the Dorset coast from dawn till evening glow, where once a quiet hammer tap was all the beach would know. So when the crowds have drifted home and the lantern sky grows clear, the locals take the silent path they followed year by year. For night belongs to those who know the language of the shale, and Stonebarrow keeps its secrets best when the moon rides high and pale. The night hunters of Stonebarrow still roam the shadowed shore, where the storms break open ancient beds and the tide reveals its store. Golden pyrite shining bright in the sweep of a searching light. Jurassic treasure waiting still for the hunters of the night. Looking back on nights we knew, under skies of silver blue, where the tide would slip away and we walked that shore at Stonebarrow. We were hunters in the night, chasing echoes in the light, golden spirals shining bright in the dark at Stonebarrow. We were hunters in the night, through the storms and through the light, every year still burning bright at the cliffs of Stonebarrow. We were hunters in the night, through the storms and through the light, every year still burning bright at the cliffs of Stonebarrow.
UK Fossils always collects responsibly and is proud to have created the Fossil Code, which helps educate others. We encourage you to read the Code of Conduct and guidelines on our website before going fossil hunting yourself. Safe and sensible collecting is always paramount. The information provided in our videos is for general guidance only. While we aim to ensure accuracy, UK Fossils cannot accept responsibility for any errors, omissions or actions taken based on this content. It is your responsibility to check local regulations and land access permissions before collecting.